Alrighty, we're here for the expert chat on Friday, May 20th. We got a big slate of games, so let's get right down to it with the first game on the list here. We got the Rockies at Pittsburgh. Adam, you want to mention any of the pitching options here?
I like Garrett Cole a lot on DraftKings at 8,700.
Yeah, it's a nice price. It's not that much more than he was when he was at Coors.
What? Oh, he's in my lineup. I was trying to figure out why I couldn't see him on the DraftKings page. Yeah, Garrett Cole at 8,700. The Rockies just aren't a good hitting team on the road, and Cole's a really good pitcher who's just priced too low in that matchup.
You think he'll have high ownership?
I think so, but I don't think it'll be as high as it should be because Nola is going to be so high, and then I think Aaron Sanchez is going to take a decent amount of ownership, plus just other guys because it's a 15-game slate.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll be as highly owned as he should be at 8,700.
Max, what do you think about stacking any of these guys?
I mean, Pittsburgh is pretty much the only viable option, but I actually don't really like them. Vegas does. I think they're projected for 4.5 runs, but
yeah,
they're expensive, and they're still at home. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I'll say on FanDuel, some of them aren't too bad. Like I still like Marte on FanDuel. I think he's 4K.
You know what? I'm actually going to pull up FanDuel because I'm playing there today. So yeah, I mean,
Adam. Oh, sorry. Go on, Max.
Yeah, I guess Polanco is probably the guy I'm interested in most. He's been on fire lately, but
he's
he's 3,900. I guess that's not that bad on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, he's up there with the big boys like Trout, and I would rather have Trout.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, on DraftKings, I don't think he's worth 5K.
Yeah.
What about anybody on the Rockies side interests you? I mean, that lineup looks kind of shitty to me, honestly. There's only three lefties in it that they're throwing up against Cole. I think it's a nice lineup for Cole to take on.
Yeah, there's nothing there that I'm really interested in.
Nope, same here.
Cool. Moving on, we got Braves and Phillies. I know Aaron Nola's got some interest here. Adam, what are your opinions on Nola?
I mean, I like him a lot. I came into today figuring he'd be really popular and trying to find a reason to fade him, and I just haven't. The Braves don't make as much contact as I was thinking they do. So, I mean, I just think he will have a really good start. On FanDuel at 9,000, it's just, you have to play him, I think. DraftKings, he's a little bit more expensive. So, I haven't completely decided. I might just go 100% Nola on FanDuel. And just differentiate elsewhere.
Yeah, I definitely think he's my cash pitcher of choice on FanDuel. I mean, he's just so cheap at that price. Let me see. There were some things I was talking to Max earlier in the chat about Nola and Quintana, and there were some things about Nola that I brought up. Just want to see what you think about him if I can find it. The Braves have not been striking out all that much against, only 21% strikeouts per at bat against right-handers, and only a 288 WOBA. I mean, any concern for you there? Oh, did we lose it? Frozen? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Sorry.
A little bit of lag.
Me or Max?
Either. You're talking, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really have much concern with him. If I fade him, it's not going to be because of anything to do with him. It's just going to be because of ownership. And you can do something like Carlos Martinez at the same price at a fraction of the ownership with the similar upside.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong pivot today, actually. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was digging around in Nola's Fangraphs for a long time today. And personally, I wasn't as impressed as I thought I'd be. It feels like he's getting a little bit of the DFS darling treatment. But
yes, for sure. I agree with that.
But, I mean, that's not to say he's not a good play against the Braves, and I think he certainly is for a cash play. I really, in tournaments, I'm fading him in the little bit that I play. I mean, I'm not playing him in a tournament, that's for sure. But I'm not really a tournament guy, so Max, you want to?
That makes sense to me. I think you either kind of have to go 100% and overweight yourself against the field, or just fade him completely. But I mean, we talked about Nola earlier. I agree with you. The whole DFS darling thing is definitely real in the sense that he just hasn't screwed anybody yet. Like once he screws people, then people will jump off of him, just like they did.
Right.
But until that happens, people are just going to own him completely. And
like Velasquez after his 16K game before he smacked a couple people in the face.
Right, exactly. No, it's also like the fear of missing out, right? Because, us DFS guys, we were always looking at, if I rostered this guy, I would have won this GPP. So, and Nola's been pretty underowned in his last starts. So now I think everybody's going to jump on board and be like, there's no way I'm missing out here.
I agree, but I mean, is that to you reason to fade him, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like Adam said, it's going to be ownership, and I really don't think he's fadeable on FanDuel. Like I'm going to play him. I'm only playing, I think, 6 lineups, so I'm going to play him everywhere. But on DraftKings, I think I'm going to try and find upside elsewhere. And because he's 11K, I think it makes sense in DraftKings.
He is really expensive on DraftKings for sure. I just think the one pitcher aspect of FanDuel makes pitcher always the best place to pivot, just because that's all you can really predict. I mean, for everybody watching, take Max's advice, but I'm probably doing the opposite because I'm really silly about that. Anyway, anything else in this game? Any hitters? We gone on about Nola for a while. That's my bad. But any hitters have you guys interest? Max, let's start with you.
I mean, not really. You can take some Philly guys if you like. I don't think Whistler is good by any means, but they don't just project us as a high-scoring stack ever. Even though their stadium's pretty good for left-handed batters. I don't think I'm interested.
Runs today, which for them is actually kind of a big
deal. Well, that's I think because Whistler's. Yep.
Okay. Adam, any bets?
Ryan Howard's 2,300 on FanDuel. I think he's definitely in play.
I noticed
3,500 on DraftKings is a pretty fair price too.
You get a cheap dong out of him, and that's.
Yeah. And he's just never owned.
Anything else in this game we want to talk about?
Nope.
Right. Washington, Miami. We got Tanner Roark and Justin Nicolino. I don't think anybody. I mean, do you guys have any interest in these guys? I don't personally.
Nope.
I don't.
I think Roark is going to be owned though. Is that what you got him? Yeah.
I liked him. I tried him against Miami last time. I think when he sucked. It's just I don't think they need to go there today.
Yeah, I try not to pick on Miami anymore. Yeah. They've screwed me too many times.
Plus, this is like the third time they're facing him this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Any stacks that you like in this, Max?
I actually like Miami against Roark. I think that will be underowned.
Yeah.
I mean, their ballpark sucks, which is always a problem, but they can definitely string a bunch of hits together against him. He's not like a high strikeout guy, despite the fact that he struck out like 15 guys in that one matchup.
Yeah.
Right, of course. In the one matchup that we actually played him.
Yeah.
Or didn't play him.
Didn't play him.
That's. What about against Nicolino? I mean.
Yeah, Washington's going to be highly owned. They're expensive though, so.
Yeah, they are. Hartford 4.7, but the rest of them are pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think you can definitely go here. Like Nicolino is definitely not good. Yeah. But I do think ownership is going to be high on these guys.
Yeah. What do you think, Adam?
The Nats are a team for me that, like, if ownership's going to be high, I don't want them just because somehow Nicolino just doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. Like, he doesn't strike guys out, but somehow he's the most frustrating pitcher to stack against.
I agree with
him and Marco Estrada. But if the Nats aren't going to be highly owned, then I love them just because at some point a guy who strikes out like one right-hander per 9 innings has to start getting hit.
Right.
So, yeah, it's an ownership thing for me.
Yeah, makes sense. I can't say there's really anything much in cash. Derek Dietrich is not a terrible second base play if you need a cheap one for DK at 3.3. Other than that, I mean, Bohr if you have to, but I always think of him more as a GPP play because he's not really super consistent. Um, anything else in this game?
Yeah, Bohr is really highly rated in my model.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I mean, he's always got the power to, knock one out of there, even in Marlins Park. But
Ooh, Michael Taylor's leading off.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, he makes for a nice one-off for sure.
that is an interesting one. He actually, oddly enough, has a really, really high rating in Dong Finder. He hasn't had that many at-bats over the last 15 days, but apparently he's been hitting the ball really hard when he has.
Yeah, I looked at his hard hit. I think it's like plus 15%.
Yeah, it was up there. He had some nice increases.
I like him, actually, because he can steal some bases, too.
Yeah. I think
leading off, is underrated, in my opinion.
I think Worth could be a decent one-off. He hasn't been hitting that great lately, but he is batting second, and he's a guy that people just don't roster.
Because he sucks.
Well, yeah, but he can kind of get into one against a really bad lefty.
I don't know, 4.4 on DK. I mean, that's...
I was looking at he's 3.1 on FanDuel.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable.
That price is
DK, I can't pay that price.
The main reason I thought of it was the last time Taylor led off, he was like 40. It was a shorter slate, but he was like 40% owned or something on FanDuel. So, I thought I was going to get him under the radar, and he was just owned by everybody.
Right. Yeah. I hate
on DraftKings too. He was like 20% on DraftKings, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So next game up is Rays at Tigers. I don't know. Let me toss the Anibal Sanchez question over to Adam.
If you aren't concerned about money or really scoring fantasy points, I think Anibal Sanchez is in play. Out of the cheaper options, only on FanDuel, not on DraftKings.
Okay.
He's like 6,600 on FanDuel,
right?
And his home run per fly ball rate over the last couple of seasons has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
But for his career, it's only 8.9. So and it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for me because he gives up a lot of fly balls, but he only gives up 29% hard contact to both sides of the plate. So I'm not really sure why every fly ball is going over the fence. And I'm just not convinced that the Rays are a good hitting team. They weren't supposed to be. They've been hot for a couple weeks, but they really shouldn't be crushing right-handed pitching. And they swing at everything, and they strike out a lot. And Sanchez's main issue is command and control. So it's a lot easier if they're just going to swing at everything he throws.
I see Eric is tossing my favorite GIF in the chat there. Yeah, that's my opinion of rostering Anibal Sanchez. That one always makes me laugh when I'm having a really bad night. Going, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I mean, I think my hatred of Anibal Sanchez is well documented. Any slate that he's been on, I've probably hated on him. So yeah, 29% hard hit. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I kind of like Tampa Bay. What do you think, Max? Any interest in hitters and stacks?
Yeah, I was going to stack Tampa Bay.
I think I am too. Honestly, I like the bottom end of the Tampa Bay lineup from Dickerson through Kiermaier.
That's exactly what I was looking at too.
Oh man. Well, I mean, or I don't know.
It's a lot of lefties, and Dickerson I think is tops in my model today.
Yeah, Dickerson is killing it in my model too. Brad Miller's not bad either, but those guys in there, for some reason, Desmond Jennings is killing it in my model, and I followed it the other day, and he hit a home run. So
he's been hitting the ball really hard lately.
I'm gonna give it up to the model that it's got something going on.
I don't know if I can get myself to roster Logan Morrison though.
I mean,
he's bad at baseball.
I like that. I mean, you could definitely mix it up and go Brad Miller, Dickerson, Kiermaier, and Jennings, or even Souza at the top spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go ahead and roster Lomo, but I don't know.
It is one of those things that you just never.
I like the way it fits.
Good about.
Yeah.
Anybody? What about the Tigers against?
Tigers are sneaky too, I think.
Yeah, I like them a lot, especially if they're not going to be popular.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been getting a lot of attention, but I haven't heard much today about the Tigers, really.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes Andries because he gave them a complete game last time they played him.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
That
It's
seems unlikely to repeat.
No.
Yeah,
His
but I just think
strikeout rate
it's
has
gonna be
never
hard for
been.
people to.
Go ahead.
It's
Go
gonna,
ahead.
it's gonna be hard for people to take like a stack against him when he won so many people money like his
Yeah,
last time.
exactly.
Right.
I looked at his strikeout rates in the minors, and he had 1 year over 20%. He's like a 15% strikeout guy.
Yeah, and he it's a small sample, but
Yeah.
in the little bit he's pitched last year and this year, he's actually got the highest hard contact percentage to righties on the slate at like
Yep.
37%.
Well, that certainly makes the hard-hitting righties of Detroit an interesting stack.
Yeah. Like maybe Justin Upton will hit the ball like moderately hard, and everyone else will hit it hard.
He's
You
been
just
so
have to
bad.
avoid him in that stack. Like, I don't think I played him.
I love that they bat him sixth because you just don't have to play him. Well, I guess you do because of Victor Martinez, but
Yeah. But, yeah, I'd just take the 9-hitter instead. I'd rather take
yeah, I mean Iglesias and Upton, they're like comparable now, I guess.
But Vegas likes him, too. They gave him, like, 4.5 runs, which is nice.
Yeah, just punt with
Martinez.
like James McCann and then skip Iglesias and go 1 through 3. 1 through
Martinez actually leads the league in hard hit percentage right now.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he's actually the worst play there either. Although
No, I actually do like him,
I guess
especially on
he's a
FanDuel.
first baseman. On FanDuel, he's a catcher though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
I think he'll probably be the highest owned guy off that team on FanDuel since he is a catcher.
Yeah. Although we also got Evan Gattis in play there
Yeah.
as a catcher for really
Yeah.
cheap, and Houston projected at the most runs. Anyway, so interesting stacks on both sides. No real interest in the pitching unless you got balls of steel and money to burn. And if you do, we'll take the money. No need to burn it. So let's see. Moving on, we got Cleveland and the Red Sox. Cleveland is favored in this game, even though it's in Boston. Kluber and Buchholz. Any interest in Kluber here?
I do.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do. It's not like the safest play, but I just don't see a lot to make me think that he's not the same high upside pitcher that he has been, and his price being so low, I think accounts for the bad matchup. Like he loses a little bit of upside because Boston can hit and they don't strike out that much, but he's an 11 to 12K pitcher based on his actual talent, and his price is just so low that I think that really accounts for the matchup. So it's I think a good spot for GPPs. It's risky, but I like it.
It's definite risk reward play. Max, did you have some thoughts on it?
No, I totally agree. Like I talked about it in my video today, but his K percentage versus left-handers, I think, is 18% this year.
Yeah.
But for his career, it's like 25. And I didn't see anything in his pitch effects data to suggest that he's like lost something. His BABIP against lefties is 329 this year, and righties is 269, which is more in line with his career averages. But his hard percentage is the same versus lefties and righties. So it looks like it's just the left-handers are finding holes, and even though they're hitting the ball softly.
His swing and strike percent is also like 12%. So like his stuff's probably still good because guys still aren't making contact with it.
Right. So I think it's a good spot to jump back on the Kluber bandwagon. I mean, not in cash for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's still Boston.
I mean, personally, I just can't get over that lefty strikeout rate this year. But you guys probably know better than me about the chances of that being a fluky thing. So by extension, are you not interested in any Boston bats? Or are you still interested in any of them?
I think they'll still carry a pretty high ownership. So I don't know if you need to go there, just because it's not like they're going to be 5% owned, in which case I would want to roster some of them.
Right. Yeah, so if they're going to be like 10%, I don't want them. If they're going to be like 5, then...
Exactly.
But with the lefty strikeout rate, too, they only have 3 real lefties in their lineup today because I don't count Blake Swihart as a hitter.
Because he's not.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's like what, Ortiz, Shaw,
And
Bradley.
Yeah. I was going to say, I am kind of, now that I said that about Swihart, though, I am kind of interested in him just because he's listed as a catcher, and catcher sucks today.
I like Castro. I think I'm just going to play Castro.
Yeah, I guess if I'm going to take a bottom of the order hitter, it'll probably be Castro.
Yeah.
Or actually, Centeno also.
Yes, true.
Okay, so speaking of Santana on the Cleveland side, I figure Carlos Santana will be like mega owned since somehow his price came down since his 2 home run game yesterday. You guys in agreement with
Yeah.
that? Yeah. I mean, I think he's a great cash play, still leading off at that even more reduced price. Buchholz is nothing too imposing. But the Indians will probably be one of the more popular stacks on the day. Yeah?
Cleveland's,
I think so.
Cleveland's the mega chalk.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, everyone there is kind of in play. On DK, I like Yan Gomez for catcher, definitely more of a cash thing because of ownership. Or did I say DK? I meant FanDuel. He's only 2.7 on FanDuel. He's like 3.5 on DK. Much less interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everybody's going to own Cleveland, so I don't know how much of them I want.
Yeah.
If you can differentiate elsewhere, I have no problem stacking Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be interested in a stack, but I think some of the one-offs could be kind of interesting. I think Mike Napoli is actually an interesting thing because people will be on Santana at first base, and
I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He rates out really highly in the Dong Finder. He's been hitting the ball really hard.
Plus, it's revenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he play for Boston forever?
Woo! Narrative Street.
Yeah, because that's the thing in baseball.
All right. Any other notes from this game?
Nope.
Nope.
Alrighty. Moving right along here. We got Mariners and Reds. Got the weather issue there. I don't think we have an update on that yet. Does anybody?
I haven't seen one.
I'm going to refresh now. Let's see.
Yeah, so.
Nope, nothing. But it does look like it's 100% rain until 10 p.m.
Yeah. So not looking good there, but let's just in brief, assuming this game were to play, obviously they'd be good tournament options because they're bound to be low owned. What if anything do you guys have interest in?
All the Mariners bats.
Yeah, and Cincinnati bats. So everybody actually.
Okay, everybody. Yeah, I mean Straley is not the greatest pitcher, and I saw earlier some people were touting Iwakuma and cash. I mean, were those people just smoking crack?
Who are those people?
I don't know.
STL Cards likes him apparently.
Really? I didn't even have time to check in on the RG rankings today, so
Yeah.
no idea who likes what.
I mean, he's cheap, but he doesn't strike anybody out at all.
Yeah, I mean, the nicest thing I can say about Iwakuma is he doesn't get blown up very often.
Right. But he still gives up a ton of hard contact. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't see it.
I mean, Great American is a home run factory, so that's a place for it to happen, and they've been pretty hot lately.
Yeah.
All right, so not interested in pitching, but if the game were to play, the batters would be interesting because nobody would have them and decently projected for runs.
Yep.
But, I'm not playing any of them. You guys can have that. Brewers and Mets. Mets hugely favored. Mats against Willie Peralta. That should be illegal, like having Mats go against Willie Peralta. It's not fair.
That's why Mats is only throwing like 50 pitches.
Yeah. There we go. That's what the pitch restriction is for. To kind of
is he actually on one?
That's what they said earlier this morning. No.
Okay, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing him anyway, but I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
He's on a pitch.
Apparently, it might actually be better if they limited Peralta to like 20, 25. Anyway, so we're definitely not interested in the pitching in this game. What about the hitters? I mean, on FanDuel, I think the Mets are just criminally underpriced. I would imagine they've got to be high owned. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I would think they have to be highly owned. But again, like it's a 15-game slate, so highly owned means a different thing than it does on like an 8-game slate.
Right.
Like if they're going to be like 15% owned, I'm still fine having the Mets because I can just differentiate within that stack. I just love the Mets tonight, especially Cespedes. Like I'm going to try and use Cespedes even as a one-off, just because I think people will skip over him. But Peralta sucks against everybody, not just lefties.
Yeah, I have some Cespedes in one of my lineups for that exact reason. I mean, on DK, he's really expensive and definitely kind of a differentiation sort of thing because you'd have to go way up to 4,900 to get him in there.
Yeah.
On FanDuel, Neil Walker at 2,700 is just like criminal. I think he's a cash lock, maybe a GPP fade because it'd be popular. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I love the Mets, especially because they have not done that well recently. So the recency bias people should not be on board, even though it's Peralta. That's why I don't think they're going to be like super chalky. I guess they're going to be in like the 10% range, which is fine. And they're also priced up on DraftKings a little bit, which is nice too, I think.
Yeah,
that should get some people off of them.
Not pricey, but not cheap either.
I love the Cespedes play because everybody always skips over him against right-handers.
Especially righty versus righty, but it's still a great matchup for him.
Yep.
Anyone on Milwaukee interest you?
Chris Carter a little bit.
Yeah, just because he's always a threat to double dong.
Yeah, he's not going to be owned, and he's got a lot of power. And Steven Matz is I think he's a good pitcher, but I don't know. Carter's been making more contact and batting fourth. Like, if I'm going to play a Brewer, it's Carter.
He's cheap.
What about LaCroix there at 3.3?
He just hasn't really had power this year.
Yeah.
He's always been like a line drive guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know exactly what he's priced at, but I would assume that he's 3,300 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
3,700 on FanDuel. Like, I think you can just get the same upside or more for like cheaper elsewhere.
Yeah, maybe go Castro there.
Yeah.
About the same price.
And it's not like he's at home,
Right.
The Mets park isn't that conducive to hitting, but
it's true.
So I don't think you need to push Milwaukee.
Although there is a nice wind that would help right-handed hitters there, but that just makes me like Cespedes.
Yep. Oh. We frozen?
Are we good?
Steve froze, I think.
Okay.
We're good. All right.
Okay. So what's the next game?
I don't know. Let's see.
Kansas City, Chicago?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about that one.
All right. Who do you like in that?
Kansas City, Chicago. I like nobody. How's that for an answer?
I like.
You like Chicago lefties or something?
Well, that's like interesting at least, but like I don't know. I'm not paying $5,000 for Adam Eaton.
No, that's too expensive.
I was gonna say on a really bad catcher slate, Salvador Perez has really good BVP against Quintana.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I do like him, but as a one-off.
Oh yeah. I'm not stacking against Quintana.
Yeah.
Kendrick Morales also at 2,600 is interesting.
That dude just hasn't. I've actually rostered him quite a bit because I keep waiting for him to break out, and he hits cleanup all the time. Hey Steve, we're talking about Kansas City and Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I promise everybody that you're going to tell them about Quintana and GPPs later on.
Yes. I like him. I mean, it's largely a play that no one else will be on as part of it. But I mean, his numbers this year are better. He's improving. I read that Fangraphs article that has his underlying stuff that's improving as well, not just the outward appearance. Kansas City has been striking out at like 24% against, I forget if he's a lefty or righty, but whatever he is, they've been striking out against it. And they have a WOBA under 300. I mean, they're just not the same team that they were last year. And people are still treating them like they are, and that's leading to the low ownership. And I think that's a place to exploit.
I agree with that. Like when I was looking through like the FanDuel pricing, he's priced in there with Nola, Martinez, and Kluber, and it was really tempting because it was like he's going to be 1% owned.
Yeah.
But like I don't think I'll do it, but I definitely don't dislike it. The only reason I don't think I'll do it is just because like with all those guys priced together, I don't think like they all have higher upsides than him, so I would think one of them like beats him.
Right. So that's my problem. So my problem is upside. If he had upside and he was priced up there, I would say he's a great GPP play just because nobody's going to be on him due to the matchup and the fact that Nola is right there. But just I don't think the upside is there, If we get like 25 points from him, I think we're super lucky. And I think you can go down in the 8K range, 9K range and expect higher upside from some of those guys. So I don't know. Like to me, if he was 8K, I think he would be a great differentiation play. but at like 10-8 or whatever he is, it's just too much.
Yeah. Well, I do like him a lot more on FanDuel. Like I wouldn't consider him on DraftKings, but FanDuel,
Yeah,
I do agree with Steve that he's really interesting.
Too.
Yeah, I think we were talking about DraftKings earlier when Steve and I had our out.
Well, I mean, it was more just about pitcher versus pitcher rather than just
Yeah, I said he's the same as Santiago, which I guess was a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll take Montana.
When you said that, I was like, okay, this.
I was trying to make the point that he's not that good.
All right, so we were pretty much finished with the Mets-Milwaukee game. Did we talk about Rangers-Astros at all?
We did not.
Okay, Rangers-Astros, that's what we're on, man. You know, I think I need a tissue because Colby Lewis is 9,200 and it makes me cry.
There's a guy you can get for 1%.
So I don't even know what's going on there. I assume we don't have any interest in the pitching here. Okay.
Nope.
Shin-Soo Choo back leading off the lineup. Is he
Yeah.
worth a go?
Yep.
How much is he?
39 on DraftKings.
I think he's 33 on FanDuel.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No. I like him a lot.
That's a good play.
Yeah, I think slightly sneaky since people might not realize that he's back active again, even though there's a little green check next to his name. You know, people are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's definitely it. Any other of the Texas guys got your attention?
Not really. Like McCullers is pretty good. Like the only reason I'm not interested in McCullers is because he's just still coming back from injury.
Yeah. Hard to say exactly how he's gonna be post injuries yet. Max, what about you? Any interest in stacking these guys up, or just as a one-off?
Texas, I don't think so. I think one-offs there, but I think Houston's going to be really popular, even though I do like them.
Yeah, I got to agree that Houston's going to be popular. I mean, wow, their total's up to 4.8 runs now.
Yeah.
Another bit. I too like them as well. I think there might be some merit in stacking the bottom of the order to try and differentiate a little bit.
I agree with that. They're also really cheap at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Moran is still in there. You know, this was a crazy one. Valbuena has really pretty good BVP versus Colby Lewis. I mean, his average wasn't that great, but he has like a couple of home runs within just a few at bats. I mean, it just stood out to me.
It doesn't surprise me. He's lefty, right? Lefty and good hitting parks.
Against a guy who can't strike anybody out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say, I love Valbuena as a tournament differentiation today because I think people that do stack the Astros are going to go with Colin Moran at third because he's so cheap. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Go Valbuena.
Yeah, I like Valbuena a lot. He was actually tops at third base in my normal cash model. It was like, what is going on here? I know this is weird. Yeah. And then I love Castro. He's still one of the top players in the Dong Finder. I don't know if he's going to go yard again, today, but 3.2 on DK and 3.1 on FanDuel. Pretty reasonable, although I might like one of the slightly cheaper guys for FanDuel. Anybody else that you guys want to talk about? Adam?
I mean, anybody on Houston
Yeah.
is simple for me.
Take it.
Yeah.
But don't go 1 through 4 because everybody's going to have it.
Well, go 1 through 4 if you're using Anibal Sanchez as a pitcher. You'll be fine.
That's true.
Yeah,
but don't use Anibal Sanchez as a pitcher.
Yeah, one of the ones I was playing with, I haven't finished yet, was a bottom of the order Tampa Bay plus whatever Houston fit in, which was Altuve and Correa and Valbuena. So I don't know. It's definitely a different one.
Going back to Texas real quick.
Yeah.
I like Mazzara. He's batting 7th and he's 2,900, so he should be pretty low owned in a nice matchup.
Yeah, I actually mentioned him this morning in my video, but I didn't know that Chu would be back and Mazzara would be down in the order. So I like him a bit less for cash, but kind of more for tournaments because people might ignore him now.
Price is still awesome.
Yeah, and I mean he's still got crazy upside. I mean the guy is just a really, really good hitter. All right, well that sounds about it for that game. All right, so now we're getting on to the Quintana game, Kansas City Royals and the White Sox. We've already talked about how I feel about Quintana. How do you guys feel about stacking against Dylan G.
I'm probably just leaving that game alone outside of Perez.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it while you were frozen.
Okay.
But,
All right, you got it.
we kind of said that White Sox are just too expensive.
They are pricey. There's not really anyone that I particularly like. I kind of like Eaton a bit on FanDuel. He's too pricey on DK. He's still expensive on FanDuel, but from what I was looking at, G just cannot handle lefties at all. And he's, of course, the White Sox only send out one other lefty and Melky. But it's not a play that I love or anything. Just, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'll have to watch how he does and report back on that. Is anyone on Kansas City on?
Adam mentioned Sal Perez, so
okay.
I agree with that play.
Yeah, I always like him. Cheap guy with home run upside.
Yeah, I think you mentioned earlier this morning his BVP against Quintana.
Yeah, I think it's like 17 for 46 or something.
Yeah.
That's not bad. All right, next is Blue Jays and Twins. And Aaron Sanchez, he could be kind of interesting with this Twins lineup. Adam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like both pitchers in this game. I mean, one, obviously, just as a GPP, like risk-reward play. But, Sanchez, I think he'll be popular. But the Twins aren't running out a really good lineup today. Park's not in it, and I think it's Arcia's not in it. Yeah, Arcia's not in it either.
Yeah.
The one thing that does concern me, though, is they have 5 lefties in there. And he's been good against lefties this year, but before this year, he was really bad against them and didn't get strikeouts. So if he's going to be really highly owned, I'm a little concerned there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't know what his ownership will be. I don't think he's going to be over 20%.
See, I was guessing DraftKings 20-ish, 20
Really?
Maybe 25.
Yeah, that's really high.
FanDuel, I don't think will be high.
Yeah, not on FanDuel, but DraftKings definitely some of it. Yeah, I'd be interested in him for cash, but there's just safer options right around his price range, so I don't have much interest there.
Yeah, in cash, I just can't go Sanchez over Cole.
Right, exactly. Or, Carlos Martinez is right there in price, too. Another guy worth thinking about. What about the bats? Anybody hit you in particular? Max, you like any stacks in this game?
No, I don't think so. I get another thing I wanted to say about Sanchez though is that if Sanchez's ownership is going to be 25%, then Cole's isn't going to be that high. So I'll just take all the Cole over Sanchez.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I think I just want to go Cole over Sanchez anyway because, Cole's ownership definitely isn't going to be where it should be. So I'm definitely going to own him more than the field anyway, and then if Sanchez digs into that, it's just going to be even lower.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, to me, then there's no point in going Sanchez. But I do think that people will roster Toronto bats today, and I don't think I'm not interested.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They got a really weird lineup they're rolling out there. It just sunk in. It's got Smoke batting 4th and Michael Saunders 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they did yesterday too, I think.
They did, yeah, because Tula was 6th yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like Tyler Duffy. In my video this morning I said Anibal Sanchez, but I'd completely forgotten about Duffy. I think I like Duffy more than Sanchez. He's 7,900 on DraftKings and 6,400 on FanDuel, and he's been really good against righties. He's got a pretty good strikeout rate, and they've been striking out a lot against righties. Plus they're on the road in Minnesota.
Yeah. Wind's blowing in, too.
Yeah, I recommended Irvin Santana yesterday, so I don't see how I can get off that when Duffy's a better pitcher than Santana.
Definitely not.
He'll have no ownership, so that's awesome.
Right, yeah.
Any bats you like in this game, Adam?
I like Juan Centeno as a punt at catcher.
Yeah.
He's been hitting the ball really hard.
Yeah, definitely could do worse than that.
And yeah, I'm fine if you want to mix in some Blue Jays, but I don't think I'm going to stack them.
They haven't worked as a stack all year, but people still try it.
Yeah, I still try it a lot, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I can't really see anywhere that I'm anxious to go there. Smoke at 3.3 on DraftKings is okay, but
especially with
yeah, I played him yesterday.
I did too.
Yeah, especially with first base being kind of weak today too. You can definitely go cheap with Smoke.
Yeah, it's weird how weak first base is today.
I think I'd actually like Carter more at probably low ownership.
Yeah,
They're
I
the
could
same
see.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Justin Boers right there too.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I like Bohr the most out of the three.
Yeah, I mean, Boer's definitely highest rated on my bottom,
Yeah.
but I do think that he's going to be higher owned than the other two. But not
Yeah, I
crazy
agree.
or anything.
Yeah, there's never like a super run on Justin Boer.
No.
All right, so Diamondbacks and Cardinals. I'd mentioned Carlos Martinez a little bit earlier. Adam, what do you think about Martinez against the Diamondbacks?
I like him. My thing with him today was I didn't know how highly owned he was going to be, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be that popular. So, I like him. There's not a lot suggesting that he's not going to regress to or get better, like back to what he was last year. Last year he struck out like 26% of righties or something.
Positive impression.
Yeah, this year his strikeout rate's down, his xFIP is high, but he's at home where I'm pretty sure over the course of his career he's been a lot better. He's facing an Arizona team who has struggled with some pretty bad righties lately. They have Peralta's still out. They have Michael Bourne hitting second. They don't have a strong lineup. And so I like him a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now we're talking about all these pitchers in the 8K range that are going to carry ownership, so maybe they're just going to cannibalize each other and we'll be able to get, all of them at like 10, 15%.
Yeah, I can't see anybody standing out there, particularly in that range. I see we're making it. My chat had frozen, so I'm just catching up on some of these questions here. So it was just quickly here. Astros bats about 20% ownership in GPP. Is that along with what you guys think, or
No, it's gonna be lower.
No, lower than that.
lower? Yeah,
10 to 15. All the popular guys.
15 games. Yeah. Parker said.
Yeah, and they're priced up. Like they're priced correctly. They're not going to be a team that everybody can just load up on.
No. Cleveland's going to be around 20%, I think.
Okay, I just see an update from Eric here that the Cincinnati weather has gotten worse, or at least is rated worse by Kevin Roth.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
well, then we can just skip that game completely.
Yeah, it's orange red now.
I really wanted it to be orange yellow.
If you're really really ballsy, you can go for it, but I'm not.
Hopefully they just call it and we know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we like Carlos Martinez. No interest in Patrick Corbin. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came in today thinking I would kind of like him, but I think I'm just gonna ignore it because he can't get out righties and the Cardinals can't hit lefties, so I think I'm just gonna call it a wash.
I mean, they do have a very righty-heavy lineup today. It's my first time actually looking over the Cardinals lineup. What do you think about any stacks here, Max? Do you like any stacks against Corbin?
I do not.
Not really either.
I don't know. I never get the Cardinals right, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably Eric's fault. But, yesterday they go off, and I think I stacked them maybe a couple days before that, and they did absolutely nothing.
That's happened to me, too. It's really frustrating. Houston, man, I stacked them for 5 days in a row and nothing. And then the day that I stopped, boom, they had that explosion.
Yeah.
Any one-off stats that strike your fancy? I mean, Matt Carpenter is always kind of interesting, even though it's lefty-lefty, I think.
I like Diaz hitting second now, and he's just a monster. I don't know why nobody plays him because he's cheap, and the guy's hitting 400. We're all talking about Daniel Murphy hitting 400, but Diaz is right up there.
Yeah, I mean, Jed Jerko too.
Oh, Jerko's in the lineup.
Yeah, he's batting 6.
Yeah, batting 6.
I love the Jerk store.
You just love making jokes about his name. All right. In the next game, we've got the fraud himself, Sonny Gray. Anybody tempted by that? What is it, 6.8 price?
Yeah. I'm tempted by it. I don't think I'm gonna do it.
I mean, I can't. That's for sure.
It's a trap.
Yeah. I was looking at stuff on him earlier, and he's just. I mean, everything's been worse this season, but he also the differential between his fastball and changeup is last season it was 5.7 miles an hour. This season it's 4.3, and he's throwing his changeup more also, and it's just getting hit harder. I don't know, and I just don't like the matchup that much. The Yankees make a lot of contact on pitches in the zone. he doesn't get a lot of misses. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either. It is something that he's priced less than CC Sabathia, though.
Yeah. But so far, also, like in those games where guys are priced way down, DraftKings has been right both times. Like Gray against Boston and Ventura against somebody against Boston. I don't remember who it was.
DraftKings pricing, in my opinion, is much sharper than FanDuel's, but
at least this year for sure.
Anybody we like the bats in this game? I mean, Danny Valencia has kind of been on fire. You guys liking him today? Too high owned?
What do we think about Oakland ownership? Like,
yeah,
going back and forth there.
I don't think they're going to be that highly owned.
Ooh, I just noticed Marcus Semien is batting second.
Yeah, two through four in that lineup is really nice.
Yeah.
They're not going to be highly owned then.
No Billy Butler though.
No, stop it there.
Country breakfast. No thank you.
You reach Billy Butler, you've gone too far.
I always somehow end up playing Jake Smolinski when he's in against bad lefties too, and it works out some, but I don't know if I need to go there today.
I mean, I'm sure it's just a small sample size thing, but Matt McBride has just been killing the dong finder.
I saw that too, and he's 2K.
I don't read much into it, but hey, that's what it is. Anybody on the Yankees that's interesting? I mean, they've been so bad. It's 3.6 runs projected. I can't say that anybody.
I don't think I can do it, even though the wind's blowing out there too, right?
Yeah, 17 miles an hour out to right. It says right now.
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe like one of the top of the lineup lefties, like as a one-off, but I don't see stacking them.
Yeah, but like 4K, I'd rather go somewhere else.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I wasn't thinking pricing.
Yeah, McCann might be kind of interesting at catcher, but there are a lot of other options I like at catcher today. So.
Yeah. No thanks.
All right, later Yankees. Hello Orioles and Angels. Wow, that's some crappy pitching going against each other. Wright versus Santiago. I assume we're not playing these guys.
I'm kind of interested in both of them.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Because of the marine layer?
Well, and I heard someone talking earlier about Santiago throwing a lot harder in his last start, like back to what he was doing at the beginning of the year when he was good. So the two of them combined, I do have a little bit of interest in, like Santiago unowned. And then Mike Wright, I had interest in anyway. Just he's priced at like 5,500, and like I don't think you need to, but if you're gonna go down, like he's just been. I don't think he's gonna be a really good pitcher, but he's been pretty decent this year. And the Orioles have actually trusted him a lot late in games, like to go an extra inning, and that's something you generally don't get out of a 5,500 pitcher.
Fair points. I won't be rostering either of those guys.
Yeah, I doubt that I do either. But.
Max, what about bat stacks? Any bat stacks that you like here?
No, marine layer, right? 2 words, marine layer. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought the Angels would be good, but I guess Vegas knows better, and they've really put the run total in this game down since it opened up.
Have they? I mean, it's 3.9 right now, and we've got wind blowing out to right.
Yeah, no, it was like it's Mike Wright. It should be in the 4s, right?
Yeah. Although, I mean, the Angels' offense has been so pathetic lately.
They've actually been good for the last couple of days.
They've been good lately, but they're pathetic in general.
Yeah, so look, it opened up. I'm looking at DraftKings now. LA was opened up at 4.3, and now they're at 3.9. That's a huge.
Yeah, no, that's a huge shift. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I wasn't very interested in any of their hitters anyway. So I'm on. Although nobody's talking about Mark Trumbo, perhaps because of the marine layer. He is way up there in the dong finder. If there's anybody in this game that's going to hit a home run, Trumbo's probably got the best chance. What does the guy in the Orioles hat think?
I was going to say, I said that I might have a little bit of interest in Santiago, but I'll definitely have a couple of Orioles stacks on DraftKings today.
Okay.
Their prices are way, way down.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about them. And like the Vegas total's down. Like it's obviously not the best hitting spot, but Santiago, if he's not throwing harder, is terrible against righties.
He's a flat ball.
Orioles have a lot of them. So.
Yeah, Trumbo could probably hit it like
give a shit about the marine layer.
Yeah, Trumbo could hit it through like a hurricane.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll definitely take some unowned Orioles today.
Okay. Any other notes on this game? Either of you guys?
Don't think so.
All right, cool. We got the Cubs lineup now. Cubs at Giants. You guys taking a look at this yet?
Yeah, I have it up.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Anything?
I mean,
all right. So Arrieta, let's just get that out of the way. Is he worth it in cash? Do you guys think?
No.
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 I'm inclined to agree, especially on FanDuel where we got Nola at that excellent price. DraftKings, I might be more tempted, but I haven't actually tried to work it into a lineup. It's probably pretty hard.
I just don't see the point. Like, to me, if you're paying up for Jake Arrieta today against he doesn't strike out a ton of guys. He's priced like an ace, which he is, but he doesn't strike out a lot of guys.
Right.
He's facing a Giants team that doesn't strike out.
Right.
To me, you'd be better off just PayPaling me half your entry and then saving the other half. It leaves less money.
Yes, we are always open to that. Just let me know if you need a PayPal address and you want to.
We can make a joint PayPal account and just split it.
I think Arrieta is a pretty big mistake today, unless you're just stacking a cheap team. If you like all your bats and you can fit Arrieta, then by all means play Arrieta. But I'm not playing Arrieta at the expense of other things.
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco worries me. They're a really good hitting team and they don't strike out much at all.
There's recency bias there too, just because last time he was part of 3 aces that were going, I think, and he was the lowest owned against Pittsburgh, and he struck out 11 guys and pitched 8 innings, which nobody expected. So now people are going to look and say, oh, I didn't play him there. I'm going to play him here in this bad matchup. But I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, Vegas only has San Francisco at 3 runs. That being said, do you guys have any interest in stacking San Francisco against him?
No.
No, because he's not going to give up.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw that one out there. I didn't think you would. I wanted to see what the reaction is. Yeah, that's one I don't intend to test either.
Yeah. No, it's not that I think he's going to have a bad game. He's just not going to pay off his...
Right.
He's not going to...
Right. No, I understand. I understand. I just wanted to see what the reaction was there. How about any bats on the Cubs side?
Yeah, I like them because I don't think they'll be popular. They're in the same California weather that the Orioles are.
Right.
Terrible ballpark to hit in, but they are facing Jake Peavy, so if they're not going to be owned, I have no problem. Especially because they have some fast guys too that can take advantage of the big ballpark without hitting it out.
But yeah, very, very true. I like Dexter Fowler on those grounds, and I also really like Chris Bryant today. I feel like third base is pretty weak, and he's one of the few kind of safe, strong options to go with. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I like the Cubs. They're cheap, and they've screwed everybody lately. Plus, they're the late game. Nobody likes rostering the late game, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, go ahead, stack them up. It's Peavy.
All righty. One last game to get through here. We got Dodgers and Padres. Scott Kazmir, I know we all love him, versus Friedrich. Serious note, do you have any interest in Kazmir, Adam?
I don't know. I have more interest in the Padres bats.
Same here.
Agreed. So is Friedrich worth a punt at his ridiculous price anywhere?
I don't think you need to, but he's better than his price.
Right. I think if you're going to go down to the 6K range, just go down all the way to the 4K range.
Yeah.
Can't be too much worse than Anibal Sanchez. Right?
I'd play him over Gale.
Okay, so you like the Padres bats. Max, why don't you tell me about your favorite Padres stack?
Let's see. Lineup's not out, but I do like Myers, Kemp, Upton, Norris, those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of interested in this. I first noticed it when Siege said something on Twitter about Adam Rosales. It was something about someone was talking about Kazmir, and he was like, "Yeah, but if I recommend Kazmir, then I can't tout Rosales for 2K."
Yeah. He loves Rosales.
What?
He loves Rosales.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if that was a personal bias thing or.
Yeah, it's anytime he can get him against a lefty.
Also, I looked it up. Rosales has good BVP against Kazmir. I know Siege is kind of a BVP guy, so that's probably what he is looking at. You guys have any interest in that bottom end of the order, or just the top guys?
Is there a lineup out? I haven't seen it.
No, but I'm going on.
Oh, yeah. No, I like Rosales. I like Kemp. I like Norris. Norris been hitting the ball hard lately, even though he hasn't
Yeah,
done
I
much
mean,
this
I
year.
called for a Norris home run a couple days ago. He's been getting super unlucky. You know, he hits the ball and it goes right to the glove of the defender. Like, I didn't believe it, and then I started watching the games, and it was exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So I do think that Norris dong is coming. I don't know if it's tonight or not, but Kazmir is definitely a decent opportunity for it.
Myers,
Anybody
too. I like Myers.
on the Dodgers?
On the Dodgers?
Yeah.
I mean, their lineup's not out yet either, but they do mash lefties. So, like, Kike is going to be at the top, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have to work with what we have. So yeah, I'm going with the projected lineup.
Kike, Trace, Trace for sure. He's like third in my model.
Yeah.
We use 2,300 on FanDuel.
That's ridiculous.
What about Jock?
Does Jock play against lefties?
Lately, he's been in the lineup every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind even taking like lefty on lefty here because I just doubt that Friedrich gets that deep into the game.
He threw like 111 pitches last game or something. I think I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess he's not going to get lit up probably. If he does get lit up, then like you're getting your lefties against the bullpen at like no ownership.
I'm taking a look now, and Jock's WOBA versus lefties is still 307 this year. It's not as good as his 344 against righties, but his ISO is actually higher, 224 against lefties.
That's good.
Yeah, actually, looking at it more, like I'm kind of coming around on the Dodgers. I didn't realize that Friedrich walked 6 guys in his last start. Like I knew he hadn't been good when he was in the majors, but part of that's because he was with Colorado. But if he has like control issues too, like you could stack the Dodgers and just wait, like figure they'll get some runs off him and then they'll get into that bullpen.
Yeah, 6 walks to the Brewers is
that's hard to do.
Kind of brutal.
Actually, they walk a lot. Actually,
they do walk a lot. That's the frustrating thing about picking pitchers against them.
All right. Well, what else? Anything else in this game before we wrap up with some general stuff?
It's just funny how like we have all the same hot takes. We need a chalky guy. Like people love Kazmir today. He's going to be 20% owned.
Yeah, but
Kazmir, I mean, people are on Kazmir today.
Yeah.
That was literally the first guy I heard people talking about.
Yeah. Tonight might be a good night.
I mean that's gross. I can't roster Kazmir.
I was saying no to him, thinking he would be like 10% or like 5%.
9.5K on DraftKings. That's not Kazmir price. Kazmir's like a 6.7K pitcher.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. What's your safest 2 pitchers on the night for cash game purposes? Adam, you first.
From like a price per or point per dollar, or just
if you were going to be playing cash and you wanted just the safest floor that you could.
I mean, if I could fit them, I'd go Arrieta Nola, but assuming I can't, I'd go Nola, Cole.
Cole, cool.
Yeah.
Max, what do you think?
Well, I was going to pick the same 2 guys. Do I have to go differently?
Well, no, I mean, picking the same 2 guys is fine. I
think Cole and Nola have the highest floor for sure.
I mean, I do think that they probably are some of the better ones. Let me see if there's anybody else that I would recommend. Not really, honestly. I mean, there was somebody else earlier, but I think I changed my mind on them. Oh well. So definitely those 2 guys are some of the better cash pitcher options. Or Arrieta, if you can somehow manage to fit him. And if you can, please send me a message and let me know how you're doing that. Let me see if any questions. You guys watching have any questions? Let me see what we can scroll back a little bit. All right, so Andy was asking about San Diego. We kind of talked about that. What were your so like the top 4 or 5 guys on San Diego and maybe Rosales?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure we covered that. Let me see. Anything you guys just want to mention about the slate while we're...
Wait, are we going to talk about the Dong Finder?
I am. That's what I'm pulling up now to take a look at. Honestly, and this is kind of Matt McBride I mentioned is right at the top of things, but I feel like that's outlier based on sample size. John Jay is the second one in this right now, and he's been at the top for a while now. I don't know that he ever has really the power to. I mean, he does hit home runs occasionally, but what do you guys think? Is that noise?
Lefty too. I don't think he hits lefties that well.
Who's that?
John Jay.
Oh, yeah. No.
His hard hit is 50% over the last 15 days, and his exit velocity is up 6 miles an hour.
Is hard hit done on a curve? Like if Jay hits it like 60 miles an hour, it's hard hit.
Oh, I don't think it's on a curve. Let's
Good
see.
one.
Andy's asking about Cespedes in Dongfinder. Cespedes tends not to rate well because he always hits the ball hard. He's a 60 though, which is not bad for him. Dongfinder's a lot better at finding guys who are coming into streaks of hitting hard. Cespedes is kind of always hitting the ball hard. Mike Napoli is the first guy that I really have interest in the Dongfinder. He's a 90.
Wow.
What do you guys?
Yeah, good differentiation play.
Yeah, I think so too, because people would be on Santana.
And he's cheap. Love cheap guys.
Michael Taylor also there. I mean, that is a small sample over the last 15 days of at-bats he's got. I mean, we already mentioned that he's kind of an interesting play against Nicolino. Jason Castro still blowing it up. Adam Jones actually is up at the top still too. But I don't really love.
Up top for a while, right?
Yeah, he's been hanging out there. Let me see what his. But that line drive percent for him is still elevated, which to me I see that as more to come. But I don't know that Santiago right now is the best option for that. Blackman has been hanging out near the top too. What do you think about his matchup versus Cole, Adam? Any thoughts on?
I mean, I think there's probably better options at his price.
Really know.
But I mean, I like Blackman just in general.
Right. Yeah. He's always got the base stealing threat. Oh, Trace Thompson is right near the top here too, at 87. So that's definitely an interesting one. Trumbo I mentioned, also an 87. Oh, Zobrist is right near the top here. What do you guys think about that? Zobrist against Peavy.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. Bad ballpark.
Yeah.
Lefties are a little bit better there too.
Are they?
Yeah, I think hitting it over that wall is a little bit closer. I think the righties have a little bit of a worse matchup.
His hard hit is 45% over the last 15 days. So.
Yeah, Zobrist's been crushing the ball. Yeah.
Definitely hitting the ball hard. Jock is also an 85 here. Robinson Cano. We don't even need to think about that because that game's washed out. It's basically washed out. Any guys you want to ask about? Oh, Chris Herman is pretty high. I can't believe we got through the entire thing without mentioning Chris Herman. Not the best matchup against Carlos Martinez. I'm not.
He does struggle with lefties though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if there's anyone I like on Arizona, it's probably Herman.
Or Lamb. Love Lamb always.
Yeah, always like Lamb. Batting fourth.
Is Bourne in the player pool?
What about Michael Bourne batting second if we're going contrarian and getting on?
Yeah, he's in the player pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good start for him.
Yeah. I think he stole a base or tried to the other day.
He did. He stole it. I was actually watching that game.
Didn't he steal it standing up too? Like they didn't even throw.
Yeah, I think they were so surprised. They were like, "Wow, look at that."
Who's that 45-year-old guy running to second base?
All right. Any last questions from the chat here? You guys got anything you want to? Nope, I guess not. All right. You guys got any last thoughts that you want to share or something?
We doing the home runs?
Oh yeah. Good idea. Max, you brought it up. You get to go first.
Sweet. I get to take Trace Thompson.
All righty. And
let me see. Who else do I like here? I'm going to take Justin Bohr.
Yeah? Solid. Adam?
How about Castro and Cespedes.
Nice.
I like it. I'm going to put my faith in the Dongfinder and go Napoli. And
McBride?
No, I'm not that much faith. If he hits one tonight, then I'll put that much faith.
Daniel Dava hit a home run. Come on. If he can do it.
I'm gonna go Trumbo. I'm gonna go counter the Marine layer. And, And say Trumbo and Napoli.
I'm gonna switch my caster to Semyon.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Good one.
I like that. Semyon batting second. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So on that note, I got to get to making some lineups with these interesting plays.
I got 3 sites that I haven't started on.
Yeah. We gotta get a roll on because we have procrastinated, but I think it's been a great breakdown of games. Hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly did. We'll probably be hanging around the chat on and off as we hurriedly put in our lineups. We'll be doing the next expert chat on Monday, along with our normal videos for the week. Thanks for coming by the Slurv expert chat, and we will see you guys next week.
Later, guys.